Hello, everybody. Once again, this is Titans Tube. My name is Justin, and this is Jake, and we are back in full swing now after our bye week hiatus, and we are here to break down the Titans also off the bye week. They're just kind of following our footpath here that we're setting out here at Titans Tube. They're hosting the Jacksonville Jags. Another bottom dweller coming into Nissan Stadium. The previous one being the Houston Texans, and that didn't work out, Jake. This Titans team is desperately needing a bounce-back win after two straight losses. It's the second time we're seeing this Jacksonville team, Jake. We won the first matchup 37-19, and I will say that was more of a deceptively close game than we might remember. I know the Jags had the ball late, I think early in the fourth quarter, getting ready to score a touchdown, and that would have put them within 2 or 3 points of us with an entire quarter to go. But we get the late stop, I think, on the 1 yard line. Anyway, so Titans need to come ready to play. I mean, we've seen this Titans team can get defeated and get beaten by the sorriest teams in the league. So there's no overlooking anybody when it comes to this team, Jake. We got Julio Jones back. How big of an impact is he going to make? He's been practicing this week. So we'll see if this offense can string something together. What have we had? Back-to-back weeks of putting up back-to-back games, putting up 13 points in each game. Not going to get it done, Jake, even with these practice squad players. But I'll throw it to you, Jake. How are you doing? How are you feeling about this Titans team moving forward? And Jacksonville, this is the opponent we need right now in this state of the season to get a notch back in the win column, I think.
Yeah, I mean, and knock on wood with that, Justin, as we've seen, this can be a get-right kind of game. And, this Titans team is going to have to make a playoff push in these final 5 weeks of the season. But as we've seen throughout the 2021 campaign, that, there's no such thing as a get-right game for this Tennessee Titans team. And even, you look at a 2-10 Jacksonville Jaguars team coming into Nissan Stadium, and you do think of the Houston game a couple of weeks ago. But overall, Justin, I'm feeling okay about this Titans team because despite the back-to-back losses against Houston and New England, I thought they played well. I thought the defense did more than enough in that Houston game to give the offense a chance. And, they played the style of game they needed to in New England to win that football game. But, Justin, the turnovers are absolutely devastating. For this Titans offense. And like I said in the NFL picks video, it seems like we're allergic to scoring touchdowns now with Derrick Henry out of the lineup. So hopefully that trend can reverse. And I don't know, man, let's just hop into these matchups. I'll take it with the Titans passing offense versus the Jags passing defense. Tannehill's just got to get back on. Is he going to bounce back eventually? You would hope. Yeah. And, Ryan Tannehill, in his tenure in Tennessee, has taken care of the football, and it's just not been evident as of late, man. He's good for that one just head-scratching interception where he cocks back and he's, he throws with such, vindiction, and he's confident in his throw, and then it's just in the chest of a linebacker. It seems like it's a weekly occurrence now. So hopefully Tannehill can kind of get right and protect the ball a little better down the stretch. You said it at the top, Julio Jones on track to make his return from the hamstring injury that's been lingering all year long. So, I mean, fingers crossed. He's got to prove his worth, Justin. This Titans team brought him in to be kind of the contending final piece to this offense. And obviously everything around us is in shambles with how many players have been injured. But Julio Jones has been on that injured list throughout the entire season. He's got to prove his worth, and these December and January, hopefully, games is where he needs to shine and show up for this football team. And also, speaking of another veteran wide receiver, Justin, is Golden Tate going to make his debut for the two-tone blue. I mean, we're just a rotating door of old school guys. Adrian Peterson, Golden Tate now joining the fold. So we'll see if he can join, make a difference. At the very least, he'll provide some fresh legs. So this crew will be going up against the Jags passing defense, which is middle of the pack and allowing about 248 yards a game on defense, led by Shaquille Griffin and Tyson Campbell at cornerbacks, which are both on the injury report this week. But I would expect them to go as it stands right now. I know it's still pretty early in the week. But just something to watch with them on the injury report. And then Rayshawn Jenkins and Andrew Wingard are the safeties for Jacksonville. And pass rush, might be a possible weak spot for this Jags team because Josh Allen also on the injury report with a shoulder injury. So it's just a lot of, beat up pieces on this Jaguars defense. I mean, we relate to you, Jags fans. I know we like to poke fun and laugh at you when you're down, but we sympathize with the amount of injuries that they seem to have on this defensive side of the ball. So as far as advantages go here, Justin, I'm going to say a push, just because this Titans passing offense just does not have the gas right now to instill any kind of confidence in Titans fans or the team in general. So hopefully they can get something on board with maybe Julio Jones and Golden Tate this week. But who knows, man? What do you think?
I completely agree. Even given this is a 2-10 Jacksonville team with a middle of the pack pass defense, it comes down to the Titans offense. They've just not done enough, and still they're coming into this game with Julio Jones, who hasn't played in several weeks, and Golden Tate. I guess he's going to see a lot of time. I mean, maybe will he get more snaps than Nick Westbrook-Akina and Chester Rogers? I mean, does he have as much juice as he does in his legs? I guess that's to be determined, but there's just so much up in the air right now with this Titans offense. Tannehill has got to get right, got to get the turnovers and the interceptions down to 0, preferably if he can, but not every game. Give us a break, Tannehill. Give us a break. Don't turn the ball over just once. Give us 0 turnovers. This Jacksonville defense, I guess as a whole, they just had a game sort of recently where they beat the Bills 6-9 and held that Bills offense to 6 points. So yeah, this is not a sure thing. I agree. I almost could talk myself into saying a push is being generous to this Titans offense. But I think that's fair. I think, this is kind of a coin flip match, and I would call this a push.
I like it. You want to take this Titans rushing attack, Justin, against the Jaguars run defense, which, I know we skipped last week's recap and we had a big long bye week, but how about these running backs, Justin? I mean, other than ball security, they look pretty dang good.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I like what I'm seeing out of this running game, minus the fumbles, which were absolutely backbreaking in New England. So we'll see if Deontay Foreman, Dontrell Hilliard can get the ball rolling. And again, I feel like I say it every week, at least since Henry's been out, is to get them going, just to keep this offense balanced. Don't let the game come down to Ryan Tannehill making a pass to Golden Tate for a clutch first down to win you the game, because the running game hasn't been working all day. Mm-hmm. So you need to get some consistent running game here, and I think they can. This Jacksonville rush defense comes in at 21st in the league. With that front seven led by Miles Jack, Damian Wilson at the top of their team in tackles. And of course, you mentioned Josh Allen. If he goes, he's a contributor in the running game as well. And some of those other defensive linemen, Dwayne Smoot and Malcolm Brown. I think Malcolm Brown has also appeared on the injury report this week. So we'll see who's available for him. But, even with some of their better players, I still like what I've seen out of our running game without Derrick Henry. I mean, both of these guys had 100 yards in that game, did they not?
Yeah.
It's like, it has to be the first time since Smash and Dash that the Titans have accomplished that. Difference is Smash and Dash didn't fumble in the same game, both running backs. So, oh man, those fumbles, man, they've really gotten to me. But also, side note, again, Nate Davis practicing this week. He should hopefully continue to upgrade and get that offensive line still run blocking well, and even better, hopefully. I think he's coming back to replace Aaron Brewer. That was our guy plugging in. So hopefully Nate Davis returns to action, and this offensive lineman, I mean, in a season where injuries have just completely scourged this team, the offensive line may all 5 be healthy if Nate Davis does come back. So that's something to hang your hat on, I guess, when it comes to injuries. But again, I think, the Titans need to come in with a run first game plan almost. I mean, we can't, throw all this pressure on Julio Jones coming back and, asking him to please stay healthy and also lead this team in passing. And also, hey, newcomer Golden Tate, you have a huge role your first game here in Nashville. we got to come in with a run first mentality. And I think we find some success gauging how we were able to do that against one of the better defenses against New England last week. So as long as they hold on to the ball, Jake, I'm giving the Titans this advantage here. What do you think?
I'm right on. I'm on board with you, man. I loved what I saw in New England out of this rushing attack. I mean, they had the push. It was reminiscent of when the Titans come out and punch somebody in the mouth, and you see Derrick Henry gashing for 6-7 every single time, and the offensive line just has that push. That's what we saw in New England, and it produced 2 100-yard rushers for the first time in a dozen or so years, and the Titans lost by like 20 some points. So that is how detrimental turnovers have been to this offense, and that's what I kind of mentioned at the top, is that I thought this team has played well. You look to the Houston game, they outgained them like 400 yards to 190, but you look and there's 5 turnovers, 2 failed fourth down conversions. So that's like 7 turnovers in one game. And that is, I mean, you can't win doing that against anybody. Case in point, the Houston Texans, and let alone the Jacksonville Jaguars this week. So as long as this offensive line can get that push, I'm with you. It needs to be a run first attack. And, again, skipping the recap for the New England game, when the Titans had 1st and goal at the 5-yard line early in the fourth quarter in New England, they ran the ball all the way down the field, and they get 1st and goal at the 5, and they all of a sudden get cute and throw these weird passes and weird formations. And guess what? It goes down to 4th and goal, and Ryan Tannehill throws an interception because you refused to run the ball, even though you had the push all day long. So I'm with you. It needs to be a run first attack. And if, you start bullying this Jags defense, these bad teams this late in the season, Justin, they're going to roll over, especially if we get an early lead and can have that push. So I'm with you. We'll take the rushing advantage in this one.
I totally agree with you there. Let's flip sides of the ball here. Why don't you take this one? What do you got with our passing defense going against Trevor Lawrence, part 2 coming in? Jags passing offense. What do we got?
So the Titans pass defense, Justin, is a little in flux, much like most of our roster, it seems right now. Jack Rabbit Jenkins still injured, being held out of practice this week. So far, the first 2 days, he has not practiced. So something to watch. That might be a big hit to the secondary if he can't go. Christian Fulton just needs to continue his high level of play. And I would like to see an impact or splash play from Christian Fulton. Yet to notch an interception this year. No, he had one in the Jets game. But we need to see another splash play from the defense. And it goes to show the turnover differential. I mean, it kind of goes both ways. I mean, obviously, most of the blame lies on the offense for coughing it up so many times the past 2 games. But the defense also needs to force some turnovers and kind of sway that momentum back if the Titans offense does, in fact, continue to cough it up. So Kevin Byard coming off the COVID list this week. If there was any such thing as good timing to get COVID, Kevin Byard hit the nail on the head, being during the bye week. So look for him to return to practice this week, get right. So hopefully we just see some more splash plays from this Titans secondary. The Jags passing offense comes into this one 26th in the league, just north of 200 yards per game. And you said it, second time for the Titans facing Trevor Lawrence, probably going to be seeing him a lot in the coming years. So going to get used to his kind of style of play in Jacksonville. His main targets on the outside are Marvin Jones Jr. and Laviska Shenault, which are, I think is a pretty decent duo at the wide receiver position. But you look further past those guys, and, Jamal Agnew and tight end Dan Arnold were his, third and fourth options when it came to the passing game, but they're both on injured reserve for this game. So you're looking at guys like, James Robinson coming out of the backfield, Laquan Treadwell, and, tight end James O'Shaughnessy to fill the role. Man, that was a mouthful. But as far as this advantage goes, Justin, this Titans defense was not great in New England. They made Mac Jones look like the second coming of Tom Brady that we're all fearing so much. And, it's just got to be a little bit better. It seems like there's a lot of holes in the zone, and the pass rush hasn't really been there either in Bud Dupree's absence. Bud Dupree didn't show up huge on the stat sheet, but I feel like he made an overall impact in helping guys like, Danico Autry, Jeff Simmons, Harold Landry get home. So hopefully this front four can generate some pressure with Ola Adaney coming back this week as well. So, I would say it's maybe a push. Need better coverage from, the linebackers. Jayon Brown looked especially kind of liable in that Patriots game. So hopefully we see a little bit of an improvement against a weaker Jags passing team. But I don't know. What do you think? I have a push.
Yeah, I could make the argument for the Titans should still get the advantage here because of these kind of immeasurables, which is the pass blocking. And one big name to watch for is their center Brandon Linder. If he can't go for this game, I feel like he's kind of like their Ben Jones of the offensive line. He's kind of the leader, the rallier. Everyone, he's kind of the brains behind the scheme and the protections there. So if he can't go, I don't know who their backup is, but I'm looking for Jeff Simmons and hopefully Danico Autry if he can be available for this game. I think he was held out of practice today, so he kind of regressed. Maybe it's just a precautionary thing. But if he can go, I think we'll see some good production from Simmons and Autry getting some push. And of course, we have Landry back there. And I think this is if we can get some pressure on Lawrence, this is definitely going to help this passing defense and their coverage. I mean, Marvin Jones, Laviska Shenault. I know Shenault made us look really bad on one particular play in the first matchup where we just kept missing tackles and missing him. So we can't let him get the ball in space. But yeah, like you mentioned, Jamal Agnew, and he had been kind of leaning on Dan Arnold, their tight end, as like a safety blanket since they traded for him from Carolina. But yeah, James O'Shaughnessy coming in place of him. I think the Titans defense and pass defense can rally if Fulton can take at least one of these receivers out of the game. I like our chances, and hopefully, given we have a good, consistent pass rush, I think we could give the Titans a slight advantage here. In my book, in my own grading, in my own scale, you can keep the push if you want, Jake. But I'm a Titans fan here in Nashville. I don't know how you Titans fans do it in Ohio.
It's that classic Titans 2 bias that just pushes the needle just a hair. And we'll go ahead and take the advantage. I like it, Justin.
Absolutely.
I like it. After your sip of coffee there, you want to take this Titans rush defense?
I will.
Crown jewel of the team right now.
I will. And I'm super excited to be doing this one right now, Jake, because guess what? I was just hopped on Twitter. I just clicked the tab over, and there's some breaking news. In the same way that I broke that we had signed, I think, Adrian Peterson or Golden Tate or something. Guess what, dude? We claimed him. We got him. Zach Cunningham was claimed by the Titans.
Wow.
Off of waivers.
Okay. That might be bad for David Long Jr. I'm a big David Long guy. That could be bad as far as his injury outlook, but that's exciting news. That's a big get.
Yeah, that was my first thought is what could this mean for David Long Jr.? But so hopefully, I don't know, that would be an amazing tandem with David Long Jr. and Zach Cunningham, and then Jayon Brown coming in and out of the lineup. But I think Cunningham is more of that Rashaan Evans breed, where he's your run thumper. He can blitz from time to time, not so much a coverage linebacker, which is something that we need out of David Long. And I know we use Jayon Brown that way too. But what a pickup this could be for the Titans. Dude, I was a big fan of his at Vanderbilt. He was a beast for the Commodores, and I was so upset. I remember being devastated because I think they got Deshaun Watson in round 1, and I was like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
And then they got Zach Cunningham in round 2, and I was like, no. Oh, God, the Texans are going to be a force. But now Deshaun Watson's not playing, and now we have Zach Cunningham. So long-term, it's looking okay.
I like the pickup. I like the pickup.
Yeah, I like it. We'll see. I mean, he's joining as you said, a top 10 rush defense. We're 6th in the league right now in yards allowed. One of the strongest units that we can rely on week in and week out is this rush defense to, make stops and make the opposing offense one-dimensional, forcing them to throw the ball. So we'll see. Rashaan Evans, as I mentioned before, he's looking to return. Finally, he's been out for longer than I think anyone expected. And also Ola Adeni looking to make a return as well on the defensive line. I like how these guys play. And I know the talk up until the game is going to be about Zach Cunningham, and he's going to only boost this rush defense for sure. I don't know if he's going to be playing. That would be a super fast turnaround. Yeah. He's familiar with his Jags team, so I don't know why he would need a whole lot of, prep and scheme and game planning for him. It's just, this is how you play Jacksonville, so just do it how you did it with the Texans, I'm assuming. But anyway, for the Jacksonville rush offense, I mean, again, middle of the pack, doesn't blow you away. They do have the talented James Robinson, though. There's a controversial thing that came out of Jacksonville that where James Robinson was being held out, and Carlos Hyde was getting the majority of the snaps, and Trevor Lawrence made some comments about that. It hit the airwaves and whatever, but we'll see. I don't know. Maybe it was just a weird situation, but I'm expecting James Robinson to come in and carry the bulk of the load. I think he's appeared on the injury report, though, so we'll see. I mean, I'm not going to be worried about this game whatsoever if James Robinson doesn't go. He's the one player on this entire Jacksonville team that does scare me, that can beat us. So that's going to be a key. Hey, I'll just go ahead and say that's going to be my key. We got to shut down James Robinson if he comes ready to play this game. And also Trevor Lawrence. We saw how, he's no Tyrod Taylor as far as scrambling and speed goes, but that was the difference in that Texans game. That's the only thing the Titans couldn't stop was Tyrod Taylor getting outside the pocket and scrambling. Trevor Lawrence is coming into this year with 241 rushing yards, so he can carry the ball as well, maybe at a lesser degree, not as fast, but he can do it. That's an element to his game that he's been utilizing in his rookie year. But all that's to say, we got the top 10 rush defense. James Robinson appears a little banged up. Their offensive line is a bit banged up. I'll take the Titans front seven in this matchup too, Jake.
Absolutely. I'm right there with you. And, it's going to be weird. I mean, the Titans have already set the record for most players to be played and dressed in a given season, and they just keep adding to that list. Now, Zach Cunningham, we got Golden Tate. I mean, who else is it going to be? They're going to probably reach out. I don't know. I couldn't even
think. Both guys, Tennessee natives too, right?
Yes.
I know Zach Cunningham played at Vanderbilt. I don't know if he was born here, but maybe we're just trying to have a reunion. We're just trying to have a Tennessee reunion here for the Titans, and I'm here for it. I'll take it.
I like it. Moving on to something I like a little less, Justin, and that's Randy Bullock. It's our guy, Slim Randy. We've been trying to be, his biggest fans in a way.
Yeah.
And calling him Slim, not calling him his mean nickname of Fat Randy, but he doinked 2 kicks in a row, 1 extra point, and then a field goal attempt in the New England game. So is he reverting back to the Randy Bullock of old? I really certainly hope not, because, it's time for the playoff push. It's December and January. We can't have missed kicks. He was automatic there for a few weeks, so hopefully he can return to form. And then obviously Brett Kern does what he does. And on the Jacksonville side of the ball, kicker Matthew Wright, kind of a newcomer for the Jags, and then punter Logan Cook, who's long tenured for them. But as far as the special teams kicking advantage, Justin, I'm going to give it to the Jags because I'm upset with Randy Bullock. He had won my heart, and now he is just ripping it right back out of my chest. I don't know. And they were the loudest doinks I'd ever heard on a broadcast. They hit, and
he did it on purpose.
Thud. Yeah, it sounded like the goalpost was right outside the window, man. Jeez and Pete. So that's what our kicking game is going to look like, Justin. I'm going to throw it to you. Other than stopping James Robinson, what is your key to the game and prediction for this Titans matchup?
Man, it's so simple, and they just can't do it, and that's to take care of the football. That's the only reason we didn't put up more than 13 points in either of those games. Our offense, we put up well over 400 yards against the Texans. We had 2 100-yard rushers against the Patriots. Ryan Tannehill keeps turning it over. Our running backs keep fumbling it. We can move the ball, actually, Jake. When you think about it, we can move the ball with these practice squad players. We just can't. We're just not opportunistic whatsoever. We can't score when we get in the red zone. Then that trickles down to Randy Bullock missing kicks, and just everything just kind of spirals out of control. If we can't take care of the football, we've got to play a clean game here. It would be nice to get a couple turnovers on defense. Let's win a turnover battle for the first time since, I don't know, the Rams game. Yeah. Maybe our last win probably, or the Saints, I guess. But, so got to shut down James Robinson, and just take care of the ball. And I trust this offense to be able to do enough we'll put up enough points if we're not turning the ball over. So that's my key. Also, Zach Cunningham strip sack with Jeffrey Simmons picking it up, taking it in for a touchdown. That's my second key to the game or prediction, and that's me. That's what I'm going to say. And I can't roll into this game super confident just because of what we've seen the last 2 weeks and the Titans crap in the bed with the turnovers and what have you. But I'll say we win, but the score is going to be somewhat of a not convincing. It's going to be like a 24-20 game. I'll take the Titans. What about you?
I like it. My key to the game is just don't panic. Don't you said it, crap in the bed. It's unbelievable how this Titans team has been able to move the ball. To steal your talking point, they've moved the ball up and down the field in the absence of A.J. Brown, Derrick Henry, Julio Jones. But for some reason, they can move it inside the 30s. But once they get into that red zone, once they get kind of right on the fringe, it all goes to hell in a handbasket. And either it's a Ryan Tannehill reception or a running back fumble or Randy Bullock misses a kick. And it's mind-boggling that a Mike Vrabel coached, well-disciplined team is now struggling with turnovers, and that was kind of what made the Titans offense great for the past couple of years, is they did not shoot themselves in the foot in such a way that they have been doing recently. And eliminate the turnover differential in Houston and New England, I think the Titans could have pulled both of those games out and been the top spot in the AFC, but that's just not how the cookie crumbles. So it's, stick to your guns. Don't panic. Don't throw everything out the window because you've lost 2 games in a row for the first time this season. It's more of get back to what you do best. Let's run the ball. Let's enforce our will, make the Jags roll over. And, Mike Vrabel is statistically great with extra rest after a bye. He's 3-0, I think, outright in his coaching career after the bye. So let's just stick to our guns, go take care of business, and just to get back in the win column and start feeling good again about this Titans team, especially coming down the road in December. Justin, I have the Titans winning this football game, and I'm with you. It's not going to be super confident. We're not going to get the sit back and relax and have a beer game that I've been clamoring for the past couple of weeks. So I'm going to take the Titans in a 21-13 game, low scoring. But, I think it's going to be garbage time touchdown, maybe late by Trevor Lawrence, onside kick attempt, that kind of thing going on. But the Titans are going to win this football game 21-13, Justin.
I like it. We didn't mention, but they got thumped last week, 37-7 against the Rams. And of course they do have a great defense, but I like our defense too. And I think we'll be able to find similar success if we don't panic. I really like that key. Don't come into this game with, on pins and needles, like, got to get a win back in the win column and play with that anxiety. But just, like you said, relax, play your football, play your style of game, trust the game plan, do your job, to take a New England Patriot theme. But hey, they're the top seed in the AFC. We should be taking their talking points.
I'm pissed. It's like the revenge of the Sith. Belichick's back and he's doing just his evil mind genius galaxy brain shit, and it's just driving me nuts. Mac Jones has that same, I can't say it either other way, but that shit-eating grin. Like he's got that Tom Brady, like this camera zooms in on him getting the snap, and he's just got that confidence and the swagger. I can't stand New England now that they're back, Justin. I can't stand them.
I know. And then I can't stand that the Chiefs are seemingly back as far as their standing goes. I know they haven't been blowing anybody away. But I was kind of going to lead me kind of into this exit portion of the video, is just to kind of briefly touch on this number 1 seed and just kind of looking at it. Because this is such an interesting race in the AFC. And this win against the Texans is that, or this game against the Jags is that much more important because it gives us another AFC win. In terms of tiebreakers, it's going to come down to some kind of tiebreaker, Jake. We could be looking at 3, possibly 4 teams all finishing with the same record at the top spot in the AFC. So how do those tiebreakers work? You got to throw the head-to-head matchups out. I think it goes down to common opponents, and everybody's beating the Jags. So we got to win against the Jags to have an edge on common opponents, or to not lose an edge there. And then it goes to, I think, conference record after that. So we have to maintain a good conference record in the AFC because, you could easily see 3 to 4 teams tying for the top spot. So Titans right in the thick of it too. So we just got to, our schedule's not that hard, and it starts with Jacksonville. And if we get beat by Jacksonville, we can say goodbye to the top spot, and let's start worrying about winning this division again. But this is a big game in terms of just keeping pace with those other top AFC teams for the number 1 seed. But I think we can do it. I think we can get it done, get some momentum, get healthier. Zach Cunningham, the game changer, gonna make some game changing plays for us. I don't know. I'm just like 5 minutes after that news drop, I'm just all of a sudden hyped. Now I got to get a jersey.
Yep.
Zach Cunningham, Titan for life. Let's go.
I like it, Justin. I don't know if you saw the report today. File it under more good news. Okay, I'm going to start with the Titans. Magic number is 3 right now. All they need is any kind of combination. Colts loss, Titans win. You've heard it, yada, yada, yada. Let's start by getting that number lower to 2 this week. The Colts are on bye, so you're not going to get any help there. If we have the magic number at 2 with 4 weeks to play, you're going to feel a lot better. Yep. If it's still 3 and the Colts just keep on inching, it's going to get bad. But, okay, we're not going to focus on the negative, though, Justin. The good news is that the report coming out of ESPN, I think Diane Rossini, or if I said her name correctly, Derrick Henry projected to return sooner rather than later in the timeline. Maybe we could see him get some warm-up reps at the end of the season, Justin. It's all about, 1, hanging on and clinching this division, but 2, if Derrick Henry could come back, just all would be right in the world, and I'd feel warm and fuzzy. And defenses do not want to see a healthy, rested Derrick Henry come January.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that would be huge. It seems like there is some optimism in the Titans facility that he's going to be coming back. Sooner rather than later, like you said. And possibly if the Titans continue to struggle to stack some wins, maybe we got to pull an emergency card and play him against Miami, maybe play him against Houston in the last game of the season to ensure either a playoff spot or the division. I don't know, Jake. What if we come into Houston week 18 now it is, and the division's not wrapped up. We dropped a couple games and let's say we've clinched the playoff spot, so we're in, but we haven't clinched the AFC South. Would you rather rest Derrick Henry for another week, or would you bring him back to get that home playoff game? I think
you want the home playoff game mostly because it's so hard to go on the road 3 times in a row and go to the Super Bowl. And that's the end goal, Justin. Yeah. The Titans have been in the playoffs. We've been at the dance, the past couple of years, 3 out of the last 4 in the Vrabel era. So it's about how do you push through? How do you get through? You need to get that home playoff game. You need to get the home playoff win. And maybe, there's an upset or something. Somebody tips the apple cart and you get a second home playoff game. You don't have to go on the road for the divisional game. That's a huge, huge advantage as far as seeding goes. So I think Mike Vrabel is going to want to play that seeding. It depends on how healthy Derrick Henry is. It's a tough it's only, people inside the building are qualified to make that decision. But
right.
It's going to be interesting down the stretch. I want to get my T-shirt and hat, Justin. I want to win the division, secure that up so we don't have to worry about it, and we can not even worry about week 18 in Houston ever again. I'm tired of having to hinge our hopes and dreams on a trip to Houston in the final week of the season. 2 years in a row. So hopefully we can not even have to worry about that come that time. So if this Titans team can get rested, healthy, at the right time, Justin, there's no reason you said it. It's everybody in the AFC is right next to each other. And there's no clear contender. And even, New England in the top spot, are they peaking too early? I feel like they're not impenetrable with a rookie quarterback in the playoffs. So it's going to be an interesting race for sure. Let's just worry about that AFC South first and get the king back. And that would be great.
Yeah. Yeah, all we need to do is the magic number 3. The Colts can win out. If we just beat the Jags, Texans at the end, and either one of San Francisco or the Dolphins Miami. At home, then
Pittsburgh even. Pittsburgh is very beatable.
Yeah, but that's in Pittsburgh in December. I would give Pittsburgh our least winnable game of the 5 that are remaining, but we could certainly go in. And Big Ben is not a scrambler at all. I think our pass rush could cause problems for that offense. And I think we could come out with a win in Pittsburgh, even with our injuries. But neither here nor there. The Titans, as low as it's been, dropping 2 straight games and looking bad doing it and just wanting our healthy players back. You see Julio Jones coming back. You see some of our other players coming back, getting healthy. Now we have Zach Cunningham, and the Titans are pulling me back in. Like, let's go. Let's get excited. We're all in. On this
We're
season.
All in.
Let's just get healthy. And now I'm excited again. And I hope the bubble doesn't burst for a 3rd straight time this week, Jake. But I don't think it will.
No, let's take care of business.
Come on.
Let's take care of business, Justin. Tighten up. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Everybody have a great football weekend. And let's just take care of business, man. Let's just do what we need to do. Let's get our T-shirt. Let's get our hat. And sail on into January with a healthy Derrick Henry, a healthy A.J. Brown, a healthy Julio Jones. Maybe Ryan Tannehill can just stop giving the ball away. But hopefully we get it all together and get healthy at the right time. Justin, do you have anything else to take us to the bar?
No, I love it. You just summarized the state of the Titans currently right here on December 9th, 2021. This is where our football team is at. Yep. And the future still is looking okay. And yeah, let's just see how it plays out. It's anybody's AFC right now, possibly Super Bowl. Yeah, let's get healthy. Let's get it done. Take care of business starting Sunday.